Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to this 30-day Dear Diary series. I'm Nicole, and today, when I was thinking and feeling into what I was going to share with you, I was wondering, what message do I have? What has really happened today? It's been a pretty laid back day. I've been doing some work and just in my own space. I haven't had a lot of huge ahas or turning energy. So I was feeling into it, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to talk about what I feel I need to hear right now, the message that I need. This is my little kitty friend. So, the message that I'm needing right now is to remember that change takes time and it sometimes is happening below the surface. So, when I was tuning into what I was going to talk about, some things that I wrote down were, don't let the worry that nothing is changing keep you from following through on the steps you've been nudged to take. And this is so true for me right now, and it really is a message that I am giving to myself, because I have moments where I'm like, geez, I feel like I'm doing all the right things. I really feel like I'm putting in the time, energy, and effort to work on my inner world. And it's called inner world for a reason. And sometimes that means, even though we're in the process of making change, change sometimes, most of the time, has to start internally. And so just because we don't see something physically changing on the external plane doesn't mean that nothing is happening. My friend Sophie from Mindful Blooms Farm, who I had on Instagram Live, if you're not following me on Instagram, it's at Nicole Biscay, and I am more active over there, but I had my friend Sophie from Mindful Blooms on, and she was sharing how so often when we are wanting something to change in our lives, it does take time, and she gave the analogy of a seed under soil. A seed goes through so much underneath the soil, but we don't see any of it. And you don't think that anything is happening until you see the bloom begin to emerge from the soil. And then you think, oh, it's growing. No, it's been growing the entire time that it's been planted there under the soil, but the process is not necessarily an external process that we see up here above the soil. It's happening below the soil. And that's what I feel like is taking place in my life right now. And I know that and I'm aware of that. But at the same time, when we're in our day-to-day lives, waiting for this change to manifest, we can become impatient. And another one of my friends, her handle on Instagram is New Earth Wonder Woman. She shared an analogy with me about how she feels like she's waiting in the waiting room for something to change. And it's like, you know that you're there at the office where something is about to change and you're about to go into this appointment or you're about to have this news revealed to you, but you're in the waiting room. And it feels like, what am I doing just waiting here in the waiting room? In our lives, that is a really important part of the process. And I know that for myself, when I get discouraged and I feel like nothing's changing, sometimes I wonder, should I change course? Am I doing all the wrong things? Maybe I should focus my energy somewhere else. But the message that came up for me today was, no, don't stop pursuing the things that you've already felt called to do. I had the calling for a reason. I've had this message placed in my heart for a reason. I was nudged in this way for a reason. And it's important that I follow through. It's like tending to that seed beneath the soil. I have to keep watering it. I have to keep nurturing it. If I just walk away because I think that nothing's happening, then nothing's going to happen because the seed's going to die because no one is taking care of it and giving it the care that it needs to make progress and to believe in it even when it doesn't look like a big deal. Because big deal things happen in our lives after a lot of internal small steps have been taken to reach that point. And it's like I shared in a past video, that person that you look up to started from the ground zero too. They started from nothing too. And just because you see them now where they're at with huge success doesn't mean that they didn't go through the process of tending to their seeds below soil, to putting in the inner work and being patient while that was manifesting into a physical, external, observable outcome. So I share this with you today as I'm sharing it with myself. Keep taking the steps forward, one step at a time. Keep following through on what you've been guided and nudged to do. You've been guided and nudged to do it for a reason, and it takes follow through. It doesn't need to be instantaneous to be worth it, and a lot of times it is more worth it when it took time, effort, patience. And I know that it's hard to be patient. I'm having a little bit of that difficulty too. But when I do sink into this knowing and I come back to the awareness that it is happening below the surface, it feels like a breath of fresh air and I can kind of take a sigh of relief, knowing that I am doing the best that I can in this moment, and God, the universe, will take care of the rest, just like the seed below soil. We can water it, we can make sure that it gets sun, but ultimately, we can't guarantee that it's going to thrive. We can add a little fertilizer by staying persistent on our path, but we can't force the seed to bloom. That's not the way that flowers are made. And so I'm reminding myself, don't try to force it. Don't try to change the process. Just stay consistent to my inner self, my inner knowing, and the steps that I've been guided to take in each next right moment. And then trust, allow, relieve the pressure that I'm putting on myself to make it happen, because God is a part of this process too. And it's not all up to me to be the creator. I am co-creating with God and the divine. And ultimately, I want to be a vessel for source. So if I'm not willing to release the reins a little bit and release the control and stay patient, then I'm not really in that co-creation process. I'm trying to take over, but I have to allow God space to create with me. So wherever you are right now, whatever season of life you're moving through, whatever seeds you're tending to, I hope that this message gave you a little bit of insight and a feeling of, oh yeah, it's not, all this pressure is not on me. Everything is working out for me. Even when I can't see it yet, I can trust and know that it is, because it is. Thank you guys for tuning in today, and I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow.